Hello everyone, and welcome to another replay cast from me, Annie, Android, whatever you want to call me. This is going to be replay ID number 22105446687, submitted to me by Warkuma on the Tiny. I'm not casting this alone, I'm being joined by the wonderful Bronin. Want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Bronin, and I am the greatest man alive.
You are nailing with these introductions, man, but without further ado, I'm feeling like we're going to have a lot of action in this game. Let's start introducing the teams. On the Radiant, we're going to have Sawile on the Spectre, hopefully a nice hard farmer for us. It's going to be Raisinus Xbox on the Mirana. We're going to have Rapspot on the Bounty Hunter. Up top, we're going to have Warkuma on the Tiny, followed up in the mid lane by Boyangwa on the Storm Spirit.
That's an interesting name there.
I can't read.
Boyangui. Boyangdoi. I don't know. Anyway, on the Dire side, we have Slenderman on the Slark. That's actually a pretty apt name right there. We've got Nagastyle on the Ember Spirit. We've got Drexler on Anti-Mage. We have El Vergon on the Pudge. And we've got Eulytus on the Disruptor.
Alright, so just based on these drafts, good golly, Dire has a lot of hard carry. Are they going to have enough room around the map to get that online?
You know, and not just because I already saw what the outcome of this match is, I'm going to say no. Spectre is a much harder carry than pretty much all of Dire's side.
Spoilers, man!
I mean, yes, Anti-Mage is a very, very hard carry, but I mean, you've got Tiny, you've got Spectre, you've got Bounty Hunter and Storm. Like, there's a lot of disable and a lot of stuns.
Alright, I gotta cut you off here as Warkuma has been cliffed here. We do have an avalanche coming out from that Tiny. He's trying to run, trying to get himself down, but he's gonna be trapped into the trees. There's gonna be a Searing Chains cast from the Ember Spirit, trying to catch out everyone here, but Nagastyle actually getting quite low himself for right now. He's the one gonna be the focus of the aggression here, but Rastapot has to be a little bit careful on the Bounty Hunter. We're still having a chase go on as Warkuma may end up feeding First Blood. The arrow from the Mirana is off the mark, not able to stop out Drexler. There's going to be a hook from the Pudge, and Warkuma will go down to the Pudge. So Dire securing First Blood here at 30 seconds into the game.
That was the longest First Blood I have ever seen so far.
I mean, I've seen longer, but certainly drawn out. How did the runes get split? It was going to be a 1-1 split here, so Slark securing a rune for himself in this off lane, and Radiant picking a rune for themselves up anyway. I honestly worry for Radiant. I think they might have the potential to be killed off a lot early game, but Dire's craft...
they are very squishy in the early game, but I mean, the late game push and team fight that they have, I think as long as they can manage to make it to the 30-minute mark, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Dire have the potential to go for a lot of early kills, but when it comes to late game, there's just not enough room around the map to keep everyone up and farming.
I mean, especially with all these aggressive heroes. I mean, they have Disruptor as the sole support, and yes, you can get away with a solo support, but he is not going to get any farm. He's not going to be able to give them any vision, and it's going to really hurt them in the long run. Unless, of course, Pudge plays support, which it might be happening.
I mean, he's got himself some wards. Now, Warkuma going to be rotted up, taking himself down to about half health. He does have 6 tangos to his name if he needs to pop that. Warkuma going in with the avalanche, but Anti-Mage able to blink out before he's affected by the damage. Now, looks like Mirana might end up taking the ultimate plunge here, pops down the arrow onto Drexler before she falls, but Pudge ends up securing the kill. Now, Warkuma will fall as well. Drexler's still alive, just barely. And having 3 assists on an Anti-Mage at 2 minutes in the game is going to really pay off in his farm potential.
And he's going for Poor Man's Shield first right off the bat, but he could have bought a Ring of Health already. Yeah,
it's questionable. I think Mirana going through is going to be... I don't know what's going to come of this lane. I think Tiny Mirana, it's greedy. Both of them are going for last hits, I think, and... if Pudge plays a solid support here, Anti-Mage can get absolutely huge, because Pudge can just hook him in, Anti-Mage waits for him, and just gets spoon-fed kills. Now Pudge is going to be arrowed up by the Mirana. That's a mid-range arrow, stunning him for a good duration of time, but again, only able to follow up with a couple harassing right-clicks, and nothing real big comes of it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Mirana fan. I think, yes, there are some players who play her very, very well, and they can land those javelins off every single time. But you really need another hero in order to set up those ults. So a Shadow Demon with the Disruption, or Outworld Devourer with his Astral Imprisonment. So you need something really to set up those really good ults, or those really good arrows. Sorry.
He's in a world of hurt right now, as there's going to be another one of those Spectral Daggers there. It looks like they want to give this kill to Suwail, but they are going to allow him to jump away. Can they catch up to him in time? And he might just end up hurting himself there. And oh, Bounty, he wants this. The Shuriken Toss, not quite enough mana. In fact, Slenderman might live. Maybe the Bounty Hunter even pays for this with his life. He does now have the Shadow Walk, so he'll be able to get out A-okay.
Yeah, Spectral Dagger is one of the few things that you actually can't purge with Dark Pact.
Yeah, I mean, he tried there. He did definitely try. And now it looks like Mirana trying to be leaping back to safety. The Searing Chain's going to be off the mark as Ember Spirit makes a cheeky rotation up, but not able to find anything. In fact, they got to worry about this cute little courier. It's not flying yet at 4 minutes in the game, and Tiny could go for the pickoff if he scouts it out in time, but just going to be bringing Ember Spirit his bottle back.
Yeah, Slark is looks like he's maxing Pounce first right off the bat.
It's not bad. You gotta be able to get that lockdown, but yeah, I wish you would be maxing either the Essence Shift or the Dark Pact just to be able to have a little bit more damage, a little bit more survivability. It'll help out your map awareness.
I personally go for Dark Pact first, and I mean, I don't know what bracket this is, but I know that spamming Slark got me out of 3k.
Alright, so Naga style might be falling here. Mirana needs to go for that final right click. The bottle, keeping him alive. Ember Spirit gets out with like 10 HP. Mirana wants to go deep into this one. She has the arrow in 2 seconds. Can she aim it right? She's going to be trying. It's going to be off the mark by a fair margin. In fact, Mirana's going to end up falling. She's killed by the Dire, so it's split up. Ember Spirit doesn't get the kill, but he gets out with his life.
That's important. I mean, that last bottle charge was fantastically timed.
A little bit of all chat flame.
Just enough HP.
So now we have Suwail gonna be in a world of hurt here. Now has the Spectral Dagger hopping through the trees. The Pounce doesn't connect. And there's gonna be the Bounty Hunter there, but he reveals himself a little bit too early. Spectre's out for now. They don't have the Glimpse leveled on the Disruptor. And Slark, he's got a Pounce in 5 seconds, but this is not the deep dive you want to take at this point.
You've got Boang on the back end too.
He's trying to go in. I mean, the Disruptor may have overstayed his welcome. I think Spectre's going to be able to live through this, and now it looks like, yeah, just going to trade hits. Disruptor's going to be the one that loses his life. Slenderman wants to go and will make something out of this by taking out the Spectre, but hopefully Storm Spirit able to secure a kill on this guy as well. He's trying to go in. He's trying to heal up, but now it's going to be Ember Spirit coming back in. The Searing Chain's once again off the mark, and clean disengage from this. Slark manages to leap him his way down to the bottom. Anti-Mage does get a pick on the Mirana up top again. Mirana's having a tough game now, 0-3-0, leaving War Kuma to his own devices up here.
Drexler should have pretty good timing up on this Battle Fury here, if he's going for that first, which I assume he is. He's already got his Ring of Health. He's very close to getting his Perseverance finished.
Long range arrow.
He should be able to have it by the 13-minute mark.
Yeah, that's, it's gonna be really, really good timing, and now Naga style in mid has that Flame Guard up. It's helping him stay alive just a little bit here, as Storm Spirit has had a tough time really finding anything in terms of net worth. Anti-Mage dominating the charge. Storm Spirit, he's got some good last hits. He's got an assist to his name, but usually by this point in the game, Storm Spirit has started rotating in, picking off supports, and he's trying for the rotations. Alright, now Storm Spirit may end up falling here. That level 6 is going to come in handy. He ball lightnings away to safety, but yeah, I mean, he needs to be more aggressive. Mirana falls again up in this top lane. Anti-Mage going in, diving deep for that one. He's going to be feeling just fine. He's going to head back to base. And it's just not looking good for Mirana. I think they need to rotate her out, let her start roaming around, because she's clearly not getting anything out of that lane. Down bottom, Disruptor may end up falling here. He's going to kinetic field himself in. Bounty Hunter not able to cross that field, but Spectre's been good about not getting it. Do they have the damage to break the TP? In fact, no, they don't. And now it looks like the Bounty Hunter falls. Slenderman can go in. He does have a pounce in another couple of seconds. Arrow hits from a long range. So Slenderman, he's going to be taken out of this. Bounty Hunter for a Slark. That's a good trade, but...
That's a very good trade.
And considering the Dire 8 kills ahead, that's a very important... Or 6 kills ahead, that's a very important trade. So, I mean, it just...
I'll say that this support Pudge here has been buying wards, so has Disruptor, but Disruptor has not actually placed any of the wards that he's bought.
Oh no, down bottom. Spectre can't fall again. They're going to be getting her. She haunts out. She manages to live for now. She's going to be up here in this top lane. Maybe Anti-Mage manages to kill her. Uses the Mana Void. He's actually not going to kill her now, and there's going to be an avalanche turning things around. Warkuma might try to go into this. Ball Lightning comes through. No longer any mana on Storm to really do anything here. Going to be trying to go in onto the Pudge. There's going to be a Spectral Dagger as well. Can they secure the kill on this big, beefy Butcher? He's going to try to TP out. I don't think they have time to break it. He's going to get out safely. So a lot of abilities in that game. Nothing really followed up on.
He used his Electric Vortex way too early. He should have waited until the TP happened and then used it to break it. But as it was, there were nothing else to stun it. Especially with the Tiny having absolutely, no mana.
Yeah, and down bottom we now have Slark free farming a little bit. He's second on the net worth chart behind his own team's Anti-Mage. He's going to be picking up some nice items pretty soon. He already has his Power Treads here, and it wasn't exactly the easiest lane in the world for him either.
I'm assuming he's going to be going for a Shadow Blade first.
Oh, Mirana, buddy. You're in a world of hurt. You can't go down again. Already 0-4. Gonna get Searing Changed up, and Ember Spirit picks up the kill for that. So Ember Spirit getting kind of big. That's his first kill of the game, but in terms of net worth, he's not too far behind the big guys at the top of the chart.
This Spectre really likes pinging out the map.
Gotta have map awareness, man. Just making sure everyone knows what's going on. So it's looking tough for Radiant at this point. There's a 7 kill difference. It's only 9 minutes of the game, but taking a look at the overall gold and XP score, it's looking pretty powerful for the Dire, and they have heroes that can really benefit from early game kills and snowballs.
As long as they snowball properly and don't take advantage and piss off their advantage.
All right, Mirana going in.
So many teams.
Oh, that was a really nice long-range arrow here, but there is a Pudge going in, gets a hook on the creep right in front of the Tiny. That would have been a really nice hook to get onto Warkuma. But, Pudge might just be walking in with the Dismember. He has his ult ready to go. He will just be slapping it up, rotting down Tiny. He has his hook back online. Can he go in and try to catch anyone out with it? Mirana, why are you so far up again? Gonna be found out by the Anti-Mage going in with a very short-range arrow. She's leaping out to safety, but safety is only an illusion as she gets dismembered up as soon as she hits the lane. There's gonna be a really, really nice follow-up, though. They're probably gonna get Drexler down. They do find him. Warkuma going in. No more toss, no more avalanche. They've got to stop things there. They can't get down the Pudge as well.
That was a very good exchange right there. I mean, Mirana was dead because she was just way too far out. But at the very least, they got a kill out of it, and it was on their hard carry.
Yeah, absolutely. So just in terms of item pickups, we're now a little bit over 10 minutes in the game. Spectre is really far behind in terms of what she needs to have and what she does have.
I don't even know where she's farming. Like, she's just going back and forth and letting Slark just do whatever he wants.
I mean, she's going to be trying to go into Slark now, but she's got 800 HP, and Slark has a Shadow Amulet. What are you doing, man? The arrow's not going to connect. He's going to Shadow Amulet himself again, being a huge nuisance. He's being pinged out. Is there even any vision? There's nothing they can do. At this point, I think Mirana's setting herself up to get pounced and like, she's going to go in with another arrow. She has it in a second. If this arrow connects, it could actually be big, but it needs to be longer range than point blank. And now Disruptor's here. Mirana may end up falling again as the Ember Spirit rotates in from the sidelines. Will kill off the Mirana for is that 6th time? 7th time. And Static Storm going to be off the mark here from the Disruptor, not catching out anyone. Remnant from the Ember Spirit not being used as well. And this is, it's not looking great for the Radiant. There's going to be that Static Link there, trying to catch in the Disruptor, but no follow-up.
Pudge died top at the same time. Well, at least Tiny got a kill there.
But in terms of where the actual kills are happening, they're being stacked onto the Ember Spirit, into the big guy carries. Anti-Mage now, he's 2-1 and 5. You can't let that happen pre-15 minutes. And finally they might be able to take out Ember Spirit, and that's going to be really important here as the Ember Spirit's now down and out, not farming for another 30 seconds. Slenderman might have overstayed his welcome. He's in, he's tracked. They have the level 6 on Bounty Hunter now. Bounty Hunter does fall, but if they kill the Slark... Nah, he purged off that track with the,
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to be taking a long-range arrow to the face. Can they actually capitalize on this? And looks like they will. Storm Spirit actually picks himself up his 3rd kill of the game. Killing spree for him. Is it enough, though?
If we remove all of Mirana's deaths from the game, the Radiant are actually leading.
I mean, yeah, that's actually surprising. I don't think you can go straight up as to remove all the deaths, but...
Sure you can.
I mean, yeah, Mirana, once she has her ultimate, she didn't skill it at level 6.
No,
Not sure what the plan was there. Hopefully she picks it up at 7.
I think it was probably just a misclick.
Warkuma gonna be chunking around the trees here. Does he get out of this alive? He has all his spells if he needs to. Nice juke on the hook. There's gonna be here an electric vortex toss up, slam down. They do get the punch. Fantastic pick from that. Now Drexler, he wants to blink away. Can they lock him down in time? They're not gonna be able to, but the spectral dagger comes through. Gonna be slowing him up. And they just gotta back off. The toss comes through. Certainly not long range enough to connect onto the AM.
Yeah, but the reason I say that, though, is, I mean, if one person is the majority of the kills, and you're not really getting many kills on the actual important heroes, then it's really not... It's like you're not getting any kills at all. Sure, you might be getting, like, 200 gold, but you're slowing down that person's farm, and that person's not doing anything anyway.
Well, we have a disconnect on the bounty. I'm not gonna commit any circumstances as to why he disconnected, but... he hopefully will be back. The tower does fall, and there's going to be a TP in from Pudge. Trying to go for the deny, doesn't get it. Mirana actually gets it. They do lock down the Pudge in time. Can they go through? Can they get the pick off? They kick off the Pudge. Now Nagastyle is in some serious trouble. The Flame Guard can't do anything to save you. Mirana comes through, picks himself up a double kill. That was...
You know, if you're the Radiant down there, you're going to be pretty pissed off at Mirana stealing those kills.
Kill secured, man. You gotta call it. I'm not sure what this build is on Mirana. We have 2 points in Starstorm. Sacred Arrow's maxed. Leap 1 point. Alright, if I had the opportunity to reskill Mirana, I think just in her playstyle, she needs 1, maybe 2 points in that Sacred Arrow just for the value. A lot of points in Leap, because she has been using it as a reliable escape mechanism and an initiation mechanism. You gotta have that lower cooldown.
And she needs her ult.
Yeah, she needs her ult here. She's level 7, almost level 8. I think Starstorm is great to max, but again, she's playing up so far that she needs the constant disengage of the leap.
Yes, yeah, especially with how aggressively she's playing, and she has not been able to use it because it's always on cooldown, because she leaps into something and then she's stuck because, she's been sitting there for 15 seconds and then they finally noticed her, but she can't get out yet because she's only got 1 point in it.
Alright, so Warkuma's hanging down here in the bottom lane. He has Avalanche ready to go in a couple of seconds, but Slark gonna be wising up here. Warkuma, no Blink Dagger, so he's not gonna...
He's gonna have his drum first.
Oh no, Warkuma, you might have overstayed your welcome here, but gonna go get a clutch Avalanche there. Warkuma may end up falling, and there's actually no haunt in from the Spectre. There's gonna be a storm coming in. They're gonna be able to kill off this beautiful play there, and Warkuma lives. That was a really great rotation here.
Done.
And Storm's going to be going for that Orchid, which is going to be super useful up against really spelly heroes.
Their entire team.
Yeah, the entire team, essentially. Mid lane, Mirana, she might be up a little bit too far. There's the importance of the leap, but she leaps right into the hook. Oh, tragic irony. She does get killed by, I believe, some creeps, and the kill is shared between the Ember and the Pudge.
She's still ignoring her ult. She's skilling Starstorm instead. I have no idea why. Looks like Spectre is going for a Vanguard as the first big item.
We 6.79, boys.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not a bad item, honestly.
Ooh, Storm going in deep. Now has his Orchid finished, wants to go into Pudge. Can he find him in time? He's going to get Searing Chains up, going to be trying to leap to safety, but ticking down too fast. Is there a Sleight of Fist here? Ember has not skilled Sleight of Fist yet. Yeah, he's going to get popped by the Anti-Mage, but let's talk about Ember's skill build here.
Yeah, that's a little interesting too.
I mean, I know you don't max Sleight of Fist. Those Searing Chains have come in really handy, but you gotta get a value point. The hook comes through after the TP. There's gonna be a glimpse as well, sending Mirana back to the fountain, wasting her time, and now it looks like a tier 1 will be secured on the side of the Radiant.
I mean, on the mid Ember, you want to grab Axe Out Flame Guard. You want to get at least 1 point in the Sleight of Fist so that you can at least get off those Searing Chains while you're jumping in among everyone. Like, you don't need more than 1 point, it just lowers the cooldown. But I mean, if you can use it once and get somebody with Searing Chains and actually keep them held in place long enough so that the rest of your team can kill them or you can kill them, then it's totally worth it.
Oh, Mirana. Maybe don't go so forward there. There's going to be a zip-in from the Storm. It is going to catch up the Disruptor, so that's a nice, easy pick if they can get it. Static Storm committed, and there's really nothing locking the Storm into place, so Storm's going to get out just fine. Disruptor ult down with nothing gained.
Static Storm, but not the wall down. That was not a good play. But while this entire thing happens, Slark manages to pick up his Shadow Blade and is just still farming the bottom.
Yeah, he's a split push Slark here to the max. Rotation in from Morkuma. Doesn't get the Avalanche off quickly enough to get him in place. Thrum's being used. There's going to be an Invis up. Oh, Avalanche off the mark as he zips around the other side of the tree line. Radiant need to carry sentries, especially now that they've figured out that Slark has his full Shadow Blade. Something, man. They can't keep letting Slark get away with this because he's playing way too far forward.
Oh yeah, he's playing, as long as they can punish him for it.
Invis hook from the Pudge. Does catch out the Bounty Hunter. I don't think they're going to find him in time, but oh man, Pudge gets chunked down by Mirana Arrow. There was a track cast as well, so Pudge gives track gold right to Bounty. Kill score is even, but in terms of overall XP and gold, starting to spike in favor of the Radiant.
Tiny is going for his Ags as his first big item. He's about halfway there. He actually grabbed an Iron Talon too. I didn't even mention that.
Yeah, the Iron Talon was another Avalanche is going to be missed. There's going to be a ward plopped up by the Disruptor, but is it worth his life? Arrow comes through off the mark. Tiny, you need one more hit. Not going to be able to toss anything there. There's nothing in range to smack down that stupid little dinosaur. Alright, Ember Spirit has 6 shoes.
He has... okay.
Alright, meanwhile, we got a fight here. Slenderman going in. Will pick up the Mirana initially. She's trying to live as long as she can, but he gets the kill. Now Slenderman's going to be Electric Vortexed up. Does he have the ult? He has it ready to go if he needs it. No leap onto the high ground and disengage from that. But yeah, back to Ember Spirit's item pickups. 3 slippers of agility. So 6 shoes in total. Actually 7 if you count the boots of speed as a shoes. Alright, so Spectre's going to get Static Stormed up in this kinetic field. She has to take a little bit of damage. There's a glimpse back, making her take even more damage, but that's still not hurting her that much as she has the Vanguard completed.
Oh, she's so tanky right now.
She is so tanky, and the Anti-Mage makes a little bit of a misblink. There's going to be a jump here. Pounce does connect onto the Spectre. She's going to take a lot of damage. She's going to try to TP out, and I don't think they break it. There's no glimpse here from the Disruptor to bring her back.
They
so
can't
she gets
see her.
out.
She was in the trees.
Yeah, I mean, she gets out safely, and now that's a lot of Dire's time wasted. All 5 heroes in this bottom lane. Radiant, you gotta take this advantage. You gotta farm up.
And it looks like Sewale is doing is doing exactly that, farming up. I'm assuming probably going to be going for a Diffuser Blade as the next item.
Ooh, Disruptor tracked up, brought down, more gold for the Bounty Hunter. And now Storm Spirit, he's almost fresh out of mana, but can he live through this engage? We have a Haunted from the Spectre, why would you come back here so low? And now Drexler gonna be taking an arrow, not super long range. There's a hook in from the Pudge, catching out his buddy, but I don't know if they get away from this. The toss from the Bounty Hunter secures the kill onto the Anti-Mage. Another track here onto the Pudge. Can they get him down as well? Looks like they're gonna sure as heck try. Electric Vortex locks him in place long enough for Tiny to get fed a kill. Ags is gonna come out pretty soon for that dude.
So Slenderman has dust.
He has a lot of dust. Yes.
Why does he... I guess it's for the Mirana, but Mirana hasn't even skilled her ult yet, and she's level 10.
There are some personal choices of skill builds in this game that I am not in agreement with. I think you need that Mirana ult.
Okay, so he was getting a Wraith Band, and I guess the other 2 slippers for his DMS.
But it's 20 minutes in the game.
Yes. And he has his Perseverance already.
Why no PMS already? Like, that's like a 10-minute item if you're going to get it. At this point, it's kind of even worth it.
It's a 5-minute item.
And the thing is, like, I feel like he had those shoes for a while. He just didn't want to...
He's had them for a long time.
Alright.
And he's died a couple times, too. Why didn't it just, like, create it? Like, did he manually disassemble the poor man's shield in order to put them back in his stash?
Man, you gotta keep those shoes in the warehouse. I don't know.
So confused.
There's a lot of things I don't understand about Dota. But either way, we're going to have a rotation in from the Slark. He wants to go in. He's going to use the Shadow Blade, looking for a pick. Mirana might be in some trouble. There's a glimpse in the Disruptor. If she tries to bolt, she's going to get Static Stormed up. No leaps for you, little lady. Slap down, but she's actually living a fairly long time. Finally, the Slark finishes her off in time for the Electric Man to hop in. He's against 3, though. He's going to get destroyed. Slenderman picking up a double kill. Now it's going to be Spectre hopping back through the trees.
Mirana is 10 of their kills now.
Slenderman might actually end up falling here, and that's going to be a big kill. He hops into that Shadow Dance. There's going to be a dust here, revealing the Bounty Hunter. And Slenderman going to be trying to pick himself off a kill, but he himself might go down. In fact, he does. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade here, but obviously you want to take out the Slark more than you care about your Bounty Hunter. Why Why haunt?
I don't know.
Did that haunt... Did it do things?
I did nothing, and okay, I guess he's saving up for a Radiance,
At this
which
point...
is something I don't agree with at this
At
point.
this point, you just gotta go Diffusal. I think Vanguard into Diffusal is a
yeah.
better build here, especially for really mana-dependent heroes like the Ember Spirit, like the Disruptor, like the Anti-Mage, and that's also, I believe, you can take off the Pounce with the Diffusal? Am I super
I think
wrong?
so, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like
But,
that's just
I mean-
an overall better choice.
But the thing with a Radiance is if you don't have it by the 23-minute mark, you've wasted 23 minutes of your time for an item that you're not going to get for like another 5-6 minutes.
At least. I think this is just delaying Spectre's farming. I mean, it's obviously going to be great when she gets it out, but how much can you
Yeah.
put yourself back against a team of an Anti-Mage, an Ember Spirit, a Slark, heroes that snowball out of control if they're allowed farm and kills, and, well, they have farm and kills.
I mean, and she could have bought a Diffusal Blade during this time
Mirana,
as well.
why so far up? Gonna be going in, just baiting out Naga style, gonna get sandwiched on both sides, trying to run up further into the Dire jungle. There's gonna be a kinetic field holding her in place. She does die. She went hunting,
11?
but deer season's over. Bounty Hunter once again disconnects, and hopefully he'll be back.
You should start up a tracker. You should start up a tracker on there. $1 for every time Mirana dies.
Yo, who's gonna donate that? Anyway,
No one.
so War Kuma gonna be allowed to focus on. He does have that Ags now. God, I love that cosmetic. It's super cool.
It's really nice.
Is his next item immediately Blink, or does he have the luxury to go for BKB?
I think he's either going to go for mobility. I don't think he's going to go for a BKB at all this game. I think he's going to go for mobility or attack speed. So either a Blink, a Shadow Blade, an SNY, Manta Style,
Yeah, well,
Moonshard.
talking about SNYs, we are going to have Anti-Mage picking up a Sange. Do we get to see an SNY Anti-Mage, or is this going to be straight into Manta? Oh, Spectre. Oh, buddy, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Actually super fast there, and those Phase Boots really paying off. She's going to try to haunt her way out of this, but again, another haunt where nothing really comes out, and there's finally going to be the Static Storm dropped. It does connect onto Mirana. There's going to be a zip in from the Storm Spirit, trying to get something. Actually, War Kuma going in, making the plays.
Oh, man.
Manages to get a kill onto the Slark, and now Disruptor falls as well. Mirana's still in this, wanting to go in. There's going to be a toss up, but nobody's to toss. Arrow coming through. Can this connect? No. Really nice dodge from the Pudge. Not sure if that was intentional, but that was just a track on the Pudge, and he falls as well. Storm Spirit definitely making some space here on the map.
That tiny avalanche toss combo is just so brutal. I mean, how much damage does that do right here?
A lot. I'm bad at math. I'll let you calculate that.
It does about 800 damage.
That's a lot of damage, actually.
Before resistances.
Yeah, I mean, we're still pretty early on in the game. Like, Disruptor's entire health pool is less than 1,000.
And I mean, Slark is just about, I don't know, 1,300?
Yeah, so
1,500 actually.
Disruptor,
If he's at,
he's way out of
half
position.
health, he falls. And down Disruptor will die too.
He might die. He might end up just being far enough around the trees. There's going to be a missed avalanche. Actually, some rotations in from the Dire. War Kuma making the smart decision just to TP out before anything happens. Did the glimpse get off? Yes, it did. Brings War Kuma back into the fight. So he might be having to fight for his life here, but rest of his team, where are you? Come on, back your tiny up, man. He needs your help.
He buys a Shadow Blade.
It's not the worst item I can imagine.
It's not the worst item. No.
I think it offers that mobility, but a Blink Dagger would just be that much cleaner. I think you could go in for better engages.
You know, it offers mobility as well as attack speed, and you can build it into the Silver Edge, which also gives you the increased damage, and, you know, you can break somebody, so you can hit them with that and then do the combo.
Yep.
Which
Well,
is
we are
always
going to have
fantastic.
Slenderman going in, trying to get the pick on the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter is going to get dusted up. He's just going to be an easy food for Slark. Slark now going for... Is that an Orchid?
Looks like 2 Sages Mask. Yeah, it has to be an Orchid.
Alright, up top we're going to see Spectre 1v1ing an Anti-Mage. Spectre, she does not have mana for ults. Anti-Mage burning her down. Can she? No, there's nothing to follow up here. I mean, hard carry versus hard carry. You can see how even they are as they traded hits pretty effectively, but now Slenderman's here. just slapped down, sent back to the base. Spectre has to be a little bit more careful. Currently,
Well, she had enough to buy the Sacred Relic.
She no longer has enough to buy the Sacred Relic, but she will soon.
No
She'll be back eventually, I promise.
God, like, this is just way too slow to get a relic. I mean, if you have not gotten the Sacred Relic by the 13-14 minute mark, or at least you're not close to it, abandon getting the relic and get something else. Get a Manta Style, get a Diffusal Blade, go for something.
I think Diffusal would be really, really strong here.
It would be so good.
We've got a tic-tac-toe going on the mini-map. And, Drexler trying to go in 1v. What the heck are you doing, Anti-Mage? You are not that big. You get slapped down to half health. Now there's going to be a Shadow Blade here on the Tiny. I don't know if Anti-Mage saw this out yet. Tiny, you got an Avalanche in 6 seconds, but allowing Anti-Mage some mercy, perhaps. As, the rest of the Dire, they're going in maybe poised up for a Roshan. Mirana, you can't be out of position again, buddy. Trying to leap away. She's hasted up. She may actually end up getting through this, and she's actually making a ton of space. As the Radiant are able to wrap around from the backside, she's going to be glimpsed back into the Static Storm. She's able to run out, but Warkuma, he's going to be taking so much damage from this. The Star Storm not doing what it needs to do. Anti-Mage going in. There's going to be a Haunted from the Spectre. They may end up getting a pick here. Mirana does fall. And, this is Dismember here onto Swail. Spectre, going down as well. So that's just a clean 3-man kill off on the Radiant. I thought it could be good when the Spectre haunted in, but they were suffering from a little bit of split target syndrome.
And Mirana still does not have Moonlight Shadow.
Please, Mirana, you're level 12. It is a really good skill, I promise.
Oh, it's just so abysmal. And you know what, honestly, both teams, I've got to say, are doing a pretty terrible job of capitalizing whatever advantage they get.
Yeah, it feels like the teams feel like they're still a little bit stuck in the laning phase. I mean, you got Anti-Mage here now clearing out the top lane, Slark still pushing the bottom lane. In order to do this most effectively, you need to be rotating as a group, and the Radiant, they're trying to do that, but I think Spectre is still letting herself get caught out a little too much. We have Storm Spirit coming in, up against Slenderman. He quickly realizes that that is a poor choice. There's going to be a pounce, it does not connect, just barely out of range, but Storm Spirit still falls. Arrow comes through.
I'm not sure why he went back in there. But Spectre is not happy with that decision.
This is, it's looking a little bit grim. The kill score is relatively even, but taking a look at the overall gold and net worth, just look at the experience, how much more space around the map the Dire are finding. They're farming up, they're getting their levels, they're going in for those kills, and it's paying off just in the fact that they have so much more levels on top of the Radiant. If we take a look at overall hero level, yeah, I mean, we got 17, 17, 16 on the carries. We got Warkuma actually going in here. Might get a kill onto the Ember Spirit, but he is invised up. Disruptor ends up being the casualty here, but it goes the way of Mirana. So
a decent
not
trade. At least they get something out of it.
Yeah, it's not super important that Mirana gets the kill there. So at least Disruptor's feeling a little bit happy it didn't go to someone that snowballs like the Tiny.
Mirana is almost half of their kills at this point.
She's having a rough time. I mean, she's got 5 kills for herself, but those 12 deaths are unfortunate. She also has 2 shoes.
Hey, she's got Moonlight Shadow.
She also has 2 sets of shoes.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. They got the mana and the stats. Super good. Now we're going to have a toss-up from the Tiny going in. Really nice Avalanche. There's going to be a Haunt in. Ken Spectre micro in. You are going to get the Pudge. And now Tiny trying to go in. The Storm zipping in like a boss, taking out both the Ember Spirit and the Pudge. Slenderman, he is coming from behind, but I think they're able to take him down if he reveals. Does get the pounce on the Mirana. She's gonna be falling back to the well once again. And Slenderman, he's just kind of too big to stop at this point. I don't think he can 1v5 though. They will finally take him down, but it takes everything they got.
Good, very good trade for the Radiant there. They lose Mirana again, but at least they get 3 heroes out of it, and 2 of them being their carries, so that's a very good trade.
Yes, sir. That is a very good trade. Gold exchange, negative almost 1,000 for the Dire and 3k for the Radiant. Make that more as Tiny just picks off the Disruptor like a juicy berry.
That is so much damage right there. I mean, Disruptor just cannot survive that.
We are going to see a Silver Edge being picked up for the Tiny. I actually like this build a lot. I was skeptical when he didn't go for Blink Dagger, but I think just that awesome maim and slap down as soon as he breaks that invisibility is going to be enough to be both the gank and the right-click damage for the Radiant. Now Warkuma gonna be brought in, but pops out that Shadow Blade to zip in from the Storm. Nothing
Zip
real.
out, Storm, zip out.
Yeah, I mean, he did burn a lot of mana for that. A lot of mana for that. I don't think they need to retreat quite as aggressively as they are.
So I was kind of glancing at the chat when we noticed that she had 2 pairs of boots, and people said that
One for her
maybe
mount.
she's just trying to get boots for her mount and for her. But then someone else pointed out that she's missing a pair of boots then.
Yeah, I mean, 2 feet, 2 shoes. Let's go back to that good old League of Legends logic. She also is carrying a Gem of True Sight, which I don't agree with because you don't usually put that on the hero with 13 deaths.
No, you do not.
Alright, Spectre has the Relic
I mean, hey.
and the Radiance. We've got a Radiance on Spectre. 32-minute Radiance. Check that one
Oh
off the
my
list.
God.
We can actually... I think Spectre's farming potential can come back from this. Obviously, you want like a 15-minute Radiance. It's not horrible. I think her farming potential is going to go up exponentially once she has that. And
No, it's horrible.
it's
Horrible.
it's not bad. Honestly, she already has the Vanguard too, so it's not an absolute first item. Now Slenderman could be in a world of trouble, get silenced up, tracked up. Can they take him down? They do. Storm Spirit getting some
Hey,
extra
there's that
track
gem
gold.
going to work.
Good gem, man. Good pick up, Marana. You got this.
Gem
Gem
and sentries.
and 7 sentry wards.
Okay, so she spent 900 to get a gem, and then another 900 to get sentries, pretty much.
Don't forget the arcane shoes. Alright, we got Bounty Hunter trying to do what he can here onto the Pudge. Marana going in, taking out that ward. You got it, girl. As a Bounty Hunter heading back in. Gonna be escaping the kinetic field for now. There is no more vision on the side of the Dire. They do put down a ward, but he's slightly out of range. Moonlight Shadow comes through! Good job, Marana! She's gonna live through this. For now.
Yay. Moonlight Shadow was used.
Static Storm comes through. There's a Lincoln's on someone. I saw it popped, I swear. Storm Spirit going through. Gets the
flying.
Electric Vortex here onto Pudge. Can they take Pudge down? He is going to get the Dismember on the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter just fall. So now it's going to be Pudge versus the world as Marana securing a kill for the Storm Spirit. Good job, Marana. Those item pickups are somehow working out for you.
What are they, like, what is the Dire doing right now? Like, their Anti-Mage is still farming, and Slark is still farming, and Ember Spirit is still farming. Like, they're going into fights and dying when 3 heroes are still farming. Hey, he's got his poor man's shield in his stack.
He's got it. We got it done. Too bad there's no room for it now. But I think, like we mentioned before, the lineup is really greedy for the Dire, and they need to be farming because they desperately need these items to be able to take fights. But there's not enough time, not enough space. We're gonna see a silver-edged Tiny trying to look for some prey here. Slark is very, very quick with his, what's it called?
Yes, you need to have your heroes farm, but at the same time, you should prioritize one hero getting the farm.
Popped! He's gonna get down very, very low, trying to regen, but Spectre Radiance doing not enough work there to get him down, but they certainly make him clench a little bit. He's gonna be skittering back to the well. In fact, Disruptor might be out just a little bit too far, popping the mech just to try to save himself as it looks like War Kuma going in, making the most of that space in the Dire jungle. Radiant are making Dire their home right now, and that's really important.
Like, they've got to know that Marana has a gem by now, right? And they keep placing sentries and observers beside her.
It's alright, man. It's good practice. You gotta practice right-clicking on
Do
something.
they just feel bad that she died 13 times?
Ooh, Hook comes through. Pudge, what you got? You got a pipe. And no ether lens, no ags. Oh, we do have an ether lens here. We picked up the recipe first.
Woohoo!
You gotta make sure you get the
That's
recipe.
game right there.
War Kuma is gonna get dismembered up under tower. They have tower vision of him right here, and now he's gonna get finished off by that hook, so they do get a huge pick on that Tiny. That's 800 gold going in Pudge's pocket, so maybe he can finish himself off another part. Yay, we got the Ring of Health.
I've got to say that pipe purchase is a very good purchase, considering he is playing effectively a position 4 support. So it's a pretty good choice to get.
Alright, Marana is going to be going for a mechanism at 40 minutes in the game.
Yes.
It's okay. I
No.
think it's alright.
No. Well, why are you trying to justify?
Oh no, Bounty Hunter is going to be probably picked off here. Another Moonlight Shadow, but there's a dust here on Slenderman. He's trying to live, but oh, looks like finally Bounty Hunter might get out alive. No, he doesn't. And doesn't even manage to throw out a track onto the Slark, so that's unfortunate there, as we are going to have a Static Storm being cast. Anti-Mage does end up popping the Marana. Marana herself calling GG. Slenderman trying to chase down Swael, but she's No, she's dead. Trying to haunt out. Haunt doesn't do a whole lot.
No, not at this point. And Boyang is just sitting in the back. Alright, now who picked up the gem? Anti-Mage did.
Anti-Mage,
and
but
Anti-Mage is actually going for an Abyssal.
he could be going for an Abyssal, or he could go for a Rapier. No, it's definitely an Abyssal with the Javelin and the Belt of Strength and the Stash, but I can always dream, man.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, Pudge has that finished Ether Lens. That's going to make his hooks that much more yucky, and now underneath the tower, Pudge is going to sit, hook a creep, and perhaps get zip-zapped up. Electric Vortex is cast, but maybe Storm Spirit gets punished for this. Warkuma is caught out. They've got vision of him. Warkuma, you can't fall here, trying to go in. He does end up doing some damage, but it's not enough to keep him alive. The mech from the Dire doing a whole bunch of work. They managed to take out Slenderman, maybe, hopefully. No, he does live. He's living a lot. And now we're going to have the Bounty Hunter brought back into the depths of the fight. He ends up just burning down. And Storm Spirit, he's trying to do what he can. Mirana ends up taking out the Anti-Mage. There's a gem dropped on the floor, but I think Slark going to be picking off the Anti-Mage, or picking off the Mirana, and finishing that off as well. Spectre hops back into the fight. Pudge doing what he can to go up against her. She's living. That's good. Now there's another hop in from the Storm, but ooh, beautiful hook from the Pudge, saving his teammate. And finally, Spectre falls again. Really nice counter initiate there by the Slark. Storm hopping back up. This guy's an animal, but he's almost out of mana. He has bottle sips if he wants to start using them, but he's just going to head back down bottom and clean up.
I think he might have forgotten that he has bottle. I haven't seen him use it in quite a while.
Alright, so Mirana, she's going to be finishing up that mechanism pretty shortly. She does have the arcane boots as well, so if she gets a pair of Greaves, can we count that as a third pair of boots, or is it really just an incarnation of the second pair of boots?
It's an upgraded pair of boots.
I want to call it
she
3
just
boots.
slapped a shiny new coat of paint.
She dipped her boots in paint. Alright, Warkuma coming up here, trying to look for something, but all of Dire have long backed off. He's got a Hyperstone here. Is this a Moon Shard or an AC?
You know what, I'm going to say a Moon Shard just because his farm has not been the greatest, so he probably doesn't want to go for an AC right off the bat, especially since he needs that attack speed right now.
Alright, so let's just take a look at our item pickups here as we are now 40 minutes into the game. I can count, I promise. We have Ember Spirit. He does finish off that Battle Fury. He has the recipe for the Boots of Travel. He is going to be going for a Daedalus next. So he's got the items he needs, albeit a little bit mistimed. I would have opted to go for the Boots of Travel first, but you know what? We had our poor man's shield fun. Got to make sure you got that at 30 minutes in. I think he just sold it. I don't know if it was ever actually in his inventory.
No, it was never. It was always only ever in his stash, and then he got rid of it.
Alright, maybe it was a stylistic choice to keep that stash decorated with that cute little purple shield. Storm Spirit, he has a Bloodstone, Orchid, and a Linken's. I really like this build from him. He's making himself very slippery, but I think at the detriment of his own damage. Now we're going to have a Haunt in, not a Haunt in, a Spectral Dagger in. They're going to try to get Disruptor down. They're going to use the mech there. Really nice mech play. Disruptor still does end up falling. Warkuma, no longer silenced, might be wanting to turn this in. Storm Spirit, he's haunting, he wants something, he's zipping in real deep into the fight. Moonlight Shadow being cast. Warkuma does have a toss if he wants to commit it. Avalanche up in 2 seconds. And now, here in the backlines, we're going to have a lot more damage sprayed out as the Moonlight Shadow expires and reveals the rest of the Radiant Heroes. They are going to get down the Slark. That's a really important kill to have. There's a Dismember here on Warkuma. Can he live through this? It looks like no. Oh, maybe. Maybe he's still alive right now. 30 HP, he does get out, maybe at the detriment of the rest of his team, but Pudge could end up falling too. There's a double track here on the rest of the Dire Heroes. They're going in. Storm Spirit wants him desperately. Storm Spirit gets a double kill here onto the Pudge. Radiant are holding.
They're holding very well.
My goodness, I was not expecting that.
No, that was a very, very well done fight. I mean, they get the Disruptor right off the bat so he can't get a Static Storm off, which is fantastic. But then they just kept juking out the rest of the team and just keeping them distracted with the tasty, tasty Mirana bait.
Oh, well, so here we've got Radiant doing their thing. Is this it? Can they push high ground? Can they get racks here? I mean, there's a Disruptor going to be trying to stop them up. Disruptor does not have his ult. He could get picked off here. Easy pick there for the Storm Spirit. The Storm Spirit is putting in some work. Now got another 2,500 gold on top of his items. I mean, what did Dire do to hold? Right now it's just Ember Spirit. He's got some good items, but he's just not doing the damage. A melee Rax fall, soon to be a ranged Rax as well. Radiant, I was not anticipating them getting out of their own base, let alone breaking high ground for the first time.
I mean, that tiny Ags is just doing so much work on these buildings. That extra, what is it, 30% damage on buildings is just so good to use when you're trying to push a Rax like that.
Alright, Pipe is finished. Mirana is going to end up being the casualty here. There's a Spectral Dagger, but I hope Spectre just decides to bail ship and run away. As Dire, they're back in their angry war. Kuma actually going in aggressively. He has that Silver Edge ready to go. He did build up the Moon Shard. I think this might be a little bit of a mistake if he stays in here. He's not quite big enough to take on all three of the beefiest heroes on the Dire yet.
Not without a BKB, he's not.
Yeah, so Spectre, her next item is going to be that Manta style. She's got the recipe before she picks up the ultimate orbs, which, again, there's a big fascination with recipes going on right here. I think it's maybe at the detriment of some stats on those item pickups that you need. So we're going to have a Roche here. The first Roche? Second Roche? Is this first or second?
Second Roche.
Second Roche, going the way of the Dire. So
this is not the cheese, Aegis, but it is still the second Roche. I think they're making maybe a little bit of mistake here on the Radiant side, letting this go, but they don't see they don't see it, so how can they stop it? I mean, they do have the Spectre Haunt, so they could check out and see if there's anybody in there, but
I mean,
they have no vision anywhere.
The vision is not great. Did we ever keep track of who had the gem?
Mirana got it back and then put it somewhere.
Storm Spirit.
Now Storm Spirit has it.
Yeah. So that's alright. I think that's actually not a bad pick, because he's going to be the one on the front lines, jumping in, zipping in, getting down the Slark, getting down... Who is it that has the Shadow Blade? Someone has a Shadow Blade. Slark has a Shadow Blade, Silver Edge.
Yeah. He's had that for a while, though.
Yeah,
but he does have his Scotty, which is very good.
Yeah, he actually picked that up like 5-10 minutes ago. That was...
Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, that was a while ago. He's now double damaged up, ready to really hurt someone. He's got that Silver Edge proc ready to go, but he's not going to find out any Radiant heroes just yet, so he could lay a world of hurt onto one of these Radiant creeps.
Yeah, on the creep, yeah. Like, I think the only hero that he doesn't want to really get that break on is Tiny. Just because Tiny doesn't really need Craggy Exterior to hurt him, he can just go right into the Avalanche Toss.
Alright, so now it's going to be a Tiny Invist up, but he's underneath a Sentry Ward. I don't know if he knows this. He's going to be Spectral Daggered up. Mirana actually living through this one. She shows off her second shiny pair of boots. And I think they're going to get the Bounty Hunter as a consolation prize here. Yeah, he falls pretty quickly. As Dire, they're angry. They're showing no mercy charging down mid.
They called GG for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why.
I don't know, but we do have to watch Storm Spirit be a little bit careful here. He's going to bust his mana, zipping back to the base. Definitely the right call, as he had a lot of Dire heroes speeding after him.
And in the meantime, Tiny is just going to grab the top racks.
Yeah, that's
because none
space
of them
created.
have TPs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no, Disruptor has a TP, I'm sorry. Disruptor and Ember can TP.
Alright, going through, slapping down the buildings. No one...
He'll just go right for the
All of the Dire are up! Why are you not... Okay. They're gonna go in, they're gonna try to do some damage here into the Radiant base. Slenderman gonna be burning down a little bit. Mirana arrow off the mark. There's gonna be a TP back from the Ember Spirit, so he's out of there. He's gonna leave the rest of his team to their own devices. Slenderman goes in, lands the pounce on the Mirana. Slenderman getting very, very low himself. Will actually secure the kill of Mirana before he goes down. And he's still feeling a little bit healthy there. The regen, feeling good. But Storm Spirit, he's playing with fire here. He's almost out of mana. Suwail in a little bit of trouble. There's going to be the Aegis taken down on the Slark. Arrow comes through, connects onto Pudge, but I think they have to console their Rax. Mirana, she's back and silenced and gonna be dying for a second time. Maybe a Slenderman. He's actually getting punched up pretty hard here by the Storm Spirit and the Creeps. Ooh, Creeps MVP. They take out the Slark after his Aegis is burned. Do you have a bug where Storm Spirit sounds like a zip zap all the time?
I don't right now, but I
Okay.
have had it before.
Alright, so Radiant somehow hold. They've got Mega Creeps. They've got
All the buybacks.
all the buybacks. Anti-Mage,
You know what?
buddy, you're not getting out of this one.
That could have gone pretty well, or pretty poorly, except for the fact that the only hero they sent back to stop the Tiny was Ember Spirit. No one else could except Disruptor, because no one had TP boots. At the very least, Disruptor could have put him in the kinetic field to stop him from getting any more buildings.
I mean, I think it's GG here. We're gonna have a hook onto the Mirana. She could actually fall one last time as a beautiful tradition to the Dire, but we're gonna have mini zips all over the place from the Storm Spirit. And Moonlight Shadow comes out. Bounty Hunter may end up falling here. Searing Chains off the mark. Not going to be locking him down just yet. Storm Spirit sounds perma-zappy to me. Anti-Mage tossed up and brought down War Kuma on a killing spree. This Tiny's doing fantastic now. He's going to go in, slapping up the Pudge, destroying him. He's now tracked up more and more gold, going the way of the Radiant. Look at this XP swing. This chart is like crazy up and down, but in terms of
This
gold,
is ridiculous.
it's 10,000 advantage. And now the tier 4 is going down. It's GG for the Radiant. Overall, Tiny ending up at the top of the net worth chart, on top of all those huge carries on the Dire. What an amazing back and forth game.
You know, I've got to say, I was expecting Spectre to be winning the game for them. That Tiny just ignoring the team fight and, surprisingly enough, backdooring their entire base worked out.
Wow, that was really impressive play by the Radiant. I'm surprised they pulled it all together. It seemed like they had a really rough laning phase, but in the end, the Dire Ancient went down, so it's a Radiant victory here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast. If you have any feedback, feel free to comment. Let me know on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want. Reddit, I'm always open. And thank you so much, Bronin, for joining me. Where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Bronin or on Twitter at Broninheim.
Alright, so thanks, dude. Again, this has been another cast in my replay cast series. I'm hoping to get myself to TI6, so every little bit helps. Thank you so much for donating to me and supporting my casting, and I will see you next time.